Hello, welcome to Destiny Digits. This is the soul urge number for number 6. So, sixes, you guys, everyone has got the hermit. Everybody's doing work. Sixes, you guys are, so your soul urge talks about what motivates you, what pushes you. And so if 6 is your energy, you are pushed by the energy of nurture and love. You're protective, you're responsible. You are just like, you would give the shirt off your back to anyone. You just really are a caretaker, and you're just like, I always think of like the cups, the Queen of Cups when I think of the 6 energy. Just a sweetheart, right? Compassionate and loving. Sometimes can be a little bit of a martyr, or overly responsible, but always just meaning well. Like, you're just driven to just help and assist others. Good energy. All right, so we're almost, let's see. Great. All right, so we pulled our tarot. And at the bottom of the deck for tarot is the Chariot. Movement, momentum, travel, change, progress, no going backwards, right? And that's that's the overall energy. And so what change is happening? And then in the center is the Fool. What a sweet energy to be in, right? Taking a leap of faith, ready for the new, unafraid. All right, let's pull some soul's journey. We have death, envy, and fear. And let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Acceptance. Sounds like growth to me. All right, sixes. Let's see our Moonology. Confidence is your key to success. Okay. Next. A personal issue reaches resolution. One more. Look at the bigger picture. All right. And at the bottom of the Moonology deck, your commitment is being tested. Okay. You don't know how strong you are until you're tested. All right, sixes, let's read this energy. So you're sitting in the Fool's energy. That's about taking a leap of faith. That's about, being loyal and committed to the journey. No matter what has happened before, I am always ready to start something new. I'm unafraid. I am counting, on life to give me an experience that is worthwhile and that reflects my value. And I'm just unafraid to go for it. So that is the space you're in. You are in the Fool's energy. Now, surrounding you is the Hierophant and the World. The entire center, Chariot, Hierophant, Fool, World. This is all major arcana. And those are not the only ones on the board. We have the Tower and the Hermit. So six's major movement is going on in life right now, right? So something new is about to kick off with the Fool's energy. Wow. And surrounding, we have the Hierophant in the World. So the Hierophant is like, the plug, right? That's the link to spirit world. They're like the bridge between the spirit world and the physical world. And so that could have been the energy. It's almost like, you receiving a download, you sitting in this space, you acknowledging and accepting the connection, the communication, the relationship that you've built with the divine. And this is where you can sit and receive information, right? And then the World on the opposite side of the Fool talks about an ending, right? Something, you have completed something. You have completed a level, right? You are about to advance. So something is beginning. So 2 times the Fool, this is beautiful. And then the Chariot talks about just momentum, forward, progress, quick change. So let's talk about the extra cards that are given us. So the Fool, we have envy. I'm the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So this new start. So you could have others in your energy that are a little envious of you. You've got the Hierophant, the Fool, the World, the Chariot. Those are pretty powerful, big, sweet energies. And because these are major, obviously you have eyes watching you. And so others could be seeing what you're going through. And let me say this, if you have been through a struggle, sometimes we'd always, everybody has those ups and downs in life, right? And so sometimes when we're in a down, we could envy those who seem to be up, right? But guess what? When you're up, others could envy you and want the same. But the idea is, when we do have a feeling of envy, or when we're experiencing that because others are imposing that on us, it's realizing that we're all the same. We're all challenged. It's just in a different way, right? Um, some people think that if they watch your story, things look easy, but you can't just walk in the easy days in my story. You also have to walk in my hard days too. And most of us are only made to walk in our own story. And so envy is just a waste of energy. It's just realizing that just as different as we are, that's also as different as the challenges that we face. So that's something to be mindful of in this new start, in this new beginning, right? And then the World, it talks about an ending. And then you also have a personal issue reaches resolution. And so something is being completed. You have gotten to the ending of that cycle. The resolution, anything that was bringing you discomfort, or you weren't really feeling connected to, um, it's coming. The answers you need are coming. And we have full moon in Cancer. And so Cancer could be significant to you specifically, but it could also talk about the time in which the sign arrives in our calendar, which is, summer, June. It's about that time. And so June could be significant for when you start to see these revolutions, these completions, these cycles kind of closing out for you. But the new start is here. So jump in and take that leap of faith. The Chariot talks about, forward motion. And I think, you know, if you also have this Hierophant energy, if you are tapped in and connected, and I feel like you are with all of these majors, I think that this is also, we also have the Ace of Swords above the Fool. But I think that you are absolutely aware that something in life is different. Something has shifted. Things are moving to a whole new direction. And so just as much as this is happening physically, I think this is also happening spiritually. I think all aspects of self in life are really going through a type of shift. That's what this looks like. Beneath this Fool, Six of Swords. So at some point before you were able to take this leap of faith, you had to move away from something. And we have the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands, typically shows, somebody that's extremely labored, and they're carrying 10 wands. They can't see what's ahead of them. The wands are blocking their vision. They're almost to their end, they're almost to the finish line, but clearly it's been a burden to get there. And so you could have endured a lot before you stepped into an energy of Six of Swords, which is about really choosing to move away. You could have put a lot into a situation. We have acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. And so think about where you were in your past before we are in this current energy of taking this leap of faith. What were you involved in? 10 wands, that's your energy, your passion, your light. You had to collect those. So what were the experiences that you were in where you kind of collect these burdens, where you just had to realize, like, I can't change this. I kind of have to remove myself. I have to release it. I have to change my environment. I have to change, the people, places, and things that I've tied myself to, because this is becoming too much, right? And so when you agree to collect all of your energy and take your life force to a new space. That's the Six of Swords saying, listen, it's been rough here and I need something different for my life, right? And then we have the energy of the Queen of Wands. And that's when you realize that you possess something. But I don't think it was easy. The Six of Swords, this leaving something behind, this moving away, I think that that was a struggle. I think it took a while to accept that no matter how much you injected yourself into a situation, it really is just what it is. And sometimes, let me just say this, sixes, self-deprecation is an energy that comes up with the six, because you will give and give and give and give until you are empty. And you mean it, and you do it in the purest way, but you can only give what you have, and when you have nothing, you have no more to give. And I kind of feel like that's kind of like that 10 of wands, like I've given it all, and now all I have are the burdens to show what I've been through. And so it's kind of accepting something, moving away from it, making peace mentally, though. It's pulling your energy back and then mentally deciding to do that too, because you totally can pull yourself outside of a situation but then obsess about it and really not have moved anywhere, right? But the Six of Swords talks about actually making that move in your mind, and that doesn't always happen at the same time that a physical move is made, you know? Um, but fear, it says, I realize I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Okay. So, sixes, I think that when we're afraid, it's because we don't know our own strength. We don't know our own ability. It's because we are looking at things from a very limited perspective, right? It's like, for an example, think about the height difference between a 2 and a 20-year-old. If a 2-year-old is looking at a door, that door is massive, right? And it can be a little scary. You don't know what's on the other side. It's big. I can't even reach the handle. If somebody opens it, it might hit me, right? To a 2-year-old, a door is huge. But to a 20-year-old, it's like, open the door. Like, it's just a door. The whole perspective shifts. And so what I'm saying is, sometimes our fear is just because we don't have the proper perspective. And we don't have the proper perspective because we haven't gained the experience yet. And so it's important to not fear what you haven't even experienced. Because then it takes away the learning opportunity. Right? And so spirit has listened. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. So this is about December. So that sign could be significant to you, or it could be something in December. But nonetheless, look at the bigger picture. So in this Queen of Wands energy, spirit is saying, listen, you possess something, right? And in order to end a cycle, in order to walk away, in order to do all of that, you had to know your own value. And this Queen of Wands is an energy of passion and fire and drive, dedication, just unapologetically fierce, right? And so I feel like the energy is like, don't look about if you look at where you've come from, then what's ahead is very scary, right? But spirit wants you to kind of fly above and gain perspective, look at the bigger picture. I think by December things will clear up with the full moon in Sagittarius. That could just be an indication of time frame, but it just may take time for things to play out. But in the time that it took before this cycle to complete and end, the energy of fear can almost be agonizing. So it's almost like being in love even when we don't know what that means. And when I say in love, I mean in love with this life, in love with this experience. The opposite of fear is love. So it's like, listen, I have no idea what's going to happen next. I've walked away. I've left this. I've been through this. I feel exhausted. I've been dragged, but I have something. I have potential, but there's something I want to do. Like, I'm not done yet, but I'm a little bit scared. Like, look at what I've been through. Like, and that's when we're like, look at the bigger picture and attempt to find the love that's still out there, right? Because you are the energy of love. And so you have to throw it back out there. And so the Queen of Wands has it in her hand. She has her wand raised, but the facial expression looks nothing like fear. So that's the passion that you have to possess about what you have and what you can offer. No matter what happened before, right? There's more to be written. You know, I want to go back to envy. Others, that could be something that you face. Sixes, you're a loving, stable, balanced, kind of sympathetic person. And sometimes those energies can rub, the demons and spirits of others the wrong way. Um, and so, yeah, maintain your vibrant, your ability to be vibrant and to kind of elevate above people, places, and things that really don't possess the light that you do. Above the Fool, we have the Ace of Swords. And so this is truth. This is a moment of clarity. This is, I can see, I know, I understand, right? This is that moment. And so this is almost divine intervention, but it's divine intervention via the mind. This is getting the awareness that we need. Now, when you get this awareness, we have death. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. That could be the clarity that you had to remember. So, all of the fear and the acceptance that you had to overcome, ending a situation, walking away, releasing burdens, leaving rough waters to calm waters, I think that was a lesson on death. It's really just it's just another side of transformation. That's all it means. Right? And so once we understand that, it's much easier to jump into new beginnings in the energy of the Fool. It's much easier when we can accept death. Now, maybe that's literal death, or maybe it's just the death of, experiences, relationships, commitments that we were tied to. Now, surrounding this Ace of Swords, we have the Hermit and the Tower. More major arcana energy, sixes. So the Hermit is being in solitude to do shadow work. The Hermit takes the lantern, but you need the lantern because you're walking into darkness. You understand that there are some things beneath the surface within self that has to be worked on in order to progress and to move ahead, right? And so that's you doing this in solitude. And just working with spirit. This is like a one-on-one therapy session with the divine, your ancestors, your angels, your guides, whatever that connection is for you beyond the veil. That's what the Hermit is. It's like going to sit on the couch and to really connect. And so it says your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. Your commitment is being tested. First quarter is what? January through April? I mean, of course, that's not the first quarter moon, but I'm just saying, we could actually talk about quarters of the year. Um, so at some point, in the past, in January through April, there could have been a time where you had to be in solitude, you had to be in hermit mode because you were ending a cycle. You had to learn to accept some things I can't change, right? And once you walk away, now we get to this movement, this progression. Now progress can be made because we've left what wasn't for us, right? And this is about the Hierophant energy. This is just having the awareness that something more is still there, right? And so that could have been when you were working through that energy. And so the clarity that's coming to you is really about endings and beginnings. Endings are really just beginnings. And so that takes you into this tower. And so towers are pretty much like the house of cards, you know? We're building something, and are the materials that we're using are shabby and cheap. It's just about building something that lacks integrity. It lacks the fundamentals that it needs to last, to really sustain itself. And so listen, when you're going through this world energy of completing and beginning, anything that is not stable and grounded cannot go into the new, right? And so towers are going to happen, right? But they have to in order for what's next to come in. And so personal issues, personal problems, those are the things that are going to have to fall. People, places, things, relationships, not everything can go with you into the next. And it's clear that there is a next for you. We have many new beginning indications here, a rebuilding, right? And so new moon in Leo, confidence is your key to success. When this tower falls, you already know, okay, the beginning is here. The beginning is here, right? Allow it to fall and be confident in what's to come. The tower is not an indication of the future, it's an indication of the past. So don't get confused when things fall apart, when things collapse. Don't think that that means what is to come is that. No, that is what was. Oh, so now let's rebuild. Let's step into that star energy. Let's have hope. Let's dream. Let's agree to this rebirth, right? And it's in your confidence that you can successfully step into this new beginning, right? And really embrace this resolution that's coming. And it takes you stepping out and having a bigger perspective. But guess what? You're in the fool's energy. Success is here. The new beginning is here, but it was probably a rugged journey. It was probably a very rugged journey. But the reward will be just as intense. How about that? How cool is that? All of that energy that was just put into this situation that has ended is also on the opposite side, but there's the duality. It won't feel this dark and heavy. It won't feel like shadow energy. It will feel like the sun. It will feel like bliss. It will feel like the opposite. Right. And so it's really about taking the struggles and just gaining the wisdom and the lessons and then using those for the new beginnings and not being surprised when towers happen, but really embracing them and almost being gracious for them, right? Just saying like, whew, I'm glad it fell because it needed to, right? It would have continued to slow me down. Okay, I'm hoping this was helpful. Thank you so much, sixes. Protect your heart, you sweet people. Take care. Bye-bye.